Our TV review's coming up between now and 4 o'clock, and as I mentioned earlier, if you saw Born with Two Mums and Ray Mears Bushcraft, your reviews would be welcome. Mayo at bbc.co.uk. Also previewing Love Me, Love My Kids. First of all, let's have a look at ITV's latest assault on the Saturday night viewing public. Made its debut at the weekend. Celebrity wrestling. Now, that would be an interesting way of sorting out the election. Anyway, this particular programme sees 12 celebrities go head-to-head in a wrestling bout. Split into two teams, the Warriors and the Crusaders. They battle it out over the next few weeks to win the Team Championship trophy. On Saturday night, we were treated to the sight of Victoria Silverstedt, a.k.a. Ice Maiden, doing battle with Jenny Powell, a.k.a. Avenger. And even before they'd set foot in the ring, we had the nails coming out.
As a flat-chested brunette, I don't like busty blondes.
It's going to be rough and sweaty and dirty, so it's going to be fun.
I'd absolutely love it if I beat Victoria.
Man, sparks are going to fly.
She hasn't seen the true dark side of me.
She needs to come down, and she will very soon.
Look at you! Look at your blonde hair! It's not real! At least I've got real hair!
Oh, she grins at you.
I think I'm going to be quite out of control.
And I think she's going to get really surprised.
One of these ladies is just going home broken.
Deep down, I have got a soul of iron.
This is the kind of battle we've all been waiting for.
Once you set up this kind of context, and with the fact we're just talking about Question Time, I'm just thinking about
It's true,
Charles Kennedy, Michael Howard,
In
and
the
Tony
right
Blair,
corner.
celebrity wrestling.
I'm trying to think of names, but I can't think of anything
Forget the vote.
for each of them.
If you can suggest names for an election version of celebrity wrestling, 85058. Kate Lawler is with us, otherwise known as the Brawler, is one of the Warriors. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Why did you get involved with this? Have you always been a bit of a closet wrestler yourself?
No, I've never been a closet. Excuse me, don't know, my voice went all funny then. I've never actually been a big fan of wrestling, but I always liked the programme The Gladiators, and when they described to me what it was going to be like, I thought, maybe this is my time to be like... I always wanted to be Jet on The Gladiators.
Me too. The way she flipped on the platform.
I always wanted her
Brilliant.
long hair.
Oh,
I
yeah.
It
And
is
it's
for-
always immaculate.
It's
Yeah.
very much in the spirit of Gladiators, though. That's the way it's
Yeah.
filmed. That's clearly the audience that you're after.
Yeah. It's an entertainment show, and it's meant to appeal to children, families, and even dads, you know, Annabelle Croft.
Especially
my dad.
dads.
Yeah. Actually, he's more Victoria Silverstedt fan. But I think it appeals to a wide range of people.
Is it so? It's not sport. It should be treated pretty much like all the
It's
other
rip wrestling. There are people tearing each other's clothes off.
all the other type of wrestling that we've ever had on the television should be treated in pretty much the same kind of way. Yes.
No, this is more fun. I think people, when they said, oh, you're actually going to be wrestling one another, I said, well, yeah, there are games. There's like a game called Sumo Slam where that's like a proper wrestle. You have to wrestle each other and use the moves we've been taught to wrestle each other out of the ring. Rather than just pulling someone's hair by the hair and just throwing them out. But there are games where it's more like a game, like where you have the...
Like chess or something.
No, like a gladiators game, you know,
Right.
you have to try and beat each other with a stick.
So who's in your team?
I'm on the Warriors, the blue team, and on my team is the lovely Victoria Silverstedt and Annabelle Croft, who's as hard as nails. And the boys are Ewan Thomas, athlete, so he's very, very good, and Mark Bannerman, who's just there for the giggle, I think, along with Oliver Skeet.
Who we saw fighting at the weekend, and you're against?
I'll be fighting the girls on the Crusaders, and they are Jenny Powell, Leilani Dowding, and Michelle Heaton.
And how have you done so far?
I've done all right. I was very, very bad in boot camp when we first arrived and trained. And I realised that I had a lot of training to do because everybody arrived with biceps and triceps, especially Jenny Powell. I couldn't believe it when I saw her arms, and she's a mum. So I thought, right, OK, I need to do a lot of training. So I ended up going for gold in the gym and lifting weights for the next 3 weeks. So I bulked myself up for the show.
Had you done kickboxing before?
I've always done boxing, but not kickboxing. So I didn't really use boxing to train for the show. I decided that what I wanted to do was build my muscle. So it was all lifting, pushing, pulling, heavy weights.
And you're up against Doctor Who,
Yeah.
which has had a fantastic start and even beating Ant and Dec. So how are you going to tackle that?
I always think these shows, like entertainment shows and a bit of reality, you have to get into them. It's a bit like Big Brother. Big Brother at the beginning, everybody always sits there and says, oh, it's rubbish, all the contestants are rubbish, don't like anybody. And by the end, they're like, yeah, I'm staying in to watch Big Brother, I can't come out with you tonight. And I know that's exactly what happened with shows like Pop Idol and X Factor. You have to get to know the characters and get to know the show. So, why are you laughing?
Because Doctor Who got twice as many viewers, didn't it, the other night?
I don't know how. I think it's rubbish. I think it's absolutely rubbish.
It's not rubbish.
It is rubbish.
It is rubbish, Kate. I'm
sorry, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. Rubbish. I'm allowed my opinion.
Okay. One at a time. David, what did you think? Is this going to be a ratings winner in the future? Then
I think it could be. I just don't think they've done it very well. I think it's a very fun idea. I think they've made it look too kind of naff and cheesy and Gladiators. That was great for when, the 90s when Gladiators was on. It's just, all these fireworks going off and endless shots of the crowd waving their placard and all the trash talk. It's just too much of that and not enough of, actually wrestling and fighting and people getting thrown out of a wing. Yeah, or whatever.
That's a shame you think that, because I think those things make the show.
But I think it's just pastry. I think you need a lot of that. You've got to have some of that, obviously. But I think it's how you make it look. And it's all very glossy and feels outdated to me. I think, they could have done it more interesting, made it look a little bit darker or grittier or something. They could have made it look more now. That's what I'm saying. And by the looks of it...
As dark and gritty as Anton Deck.
Well... Anton Deck managed to beat Doctor Who, didn't they? In the last of their this last series that's just finished, they actually edged out Doctor Who in the end. So they were doing something right. But
you've got to remember that it's the beginning of the show. It will get more gritty and more dirty as the show goes on.
Really?
And I actually thought it was quite light-hearted as the first show. And even filming it, I thought this show actually filming it gets better and better as it goes along.
But it's so slow.
Mary, did you enjoy episode 1 of Celebrity Wrestling?
I thought it was tacky. I thought it was over the top. I thought it was thinly veiled soft porn, and I loved it. I just thought it was brilliant. This is what Saturday night television needs. If it had been anything less than 100% tacky and cheesy, it would have been painful viewing. The fact it was so over the top. Oh, Oliver Skeet coming out on a motorbike. Come on, this is great fun television. Two things disturbed me.
Is he the answer to Saturday Night, Oliver Skeet?
David, shush, you've said your piece. Two things disturbed me. One, Ewan Thomas looks like Jason from last year's Big Brother. That really did disturb me for a very long time. Secondly, far more seriously, Kate Thornton, what you doing, love? Wrong show, wrong channel, wrong time.
Why?
Out you go. You've got Roddy Piper, who's as Scottish
Legend.
as Welsh rarebit. Yeah, he's brilliant. Can't settle down, dear. He's brilliant, and he's camp, and he's mouthy, and he's brash, and the coaches are exactly the same, and they're all over the top. And there's Kate going, and now we're going to play murder ball. No, come on, Kate, have some kahunas about it. She just looks so out of place, horrible.
Martin in Oxford says, Celebrity Wrestling... Sorry about this, Kate. Absolute garbage. Amazement held me for 10 minutes. How has Saturday night TV been reduced to this level? A conspiracy to buy satellite television. Mark Webster.
See, I've always enjoyed the smell of what The Rock was cooking, so I'm on side with this. I get I love the idea.
What is The Rock
of wrestling.
cooking?
The Rock was cooking that famous melodrama that is, of course, showbiz mixed up with athleticism, which is, of course, is the best of the WWF world. And, of course, this is what they've gone for. Kate's right, obviously, from the very start point, that someone was lucky enough to find the keys to the Gladiators warehouse, weren't they? Turned the lights on and said, we could use this stuff again. And there's a bit that about it. But the most important thing, which is the thing I think that carries it through for me, is that you can see it's genuinely competitive. I mean, you say, there's a few games in there. You tell these people, regardless of whether we think the standard of competition is particularly professional or high or athletic, you get the sense that these people want to beat each other. I mean, the sight of Gentleman Jim. My God, I forgot his real name.
James Hewitt.
Yeah, see, that's how well that's working already, isn't it? And Oliver Skeet, by the end of their kind of the third bout, they were literally lying on the floor with no wind left in their sails at all, just hitting each other with those giant Q-tips.
They're middle-aged men.
They were still determined to try and make a fight of it.
That was good, though, wasn't it?
It was fabulous.
That was good to watch.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough of that, because that felt real.
Do the teams dislike each other?
There was 9 fights. What are you talking about? There was 9 fights. So how many more do you want?
There was so much padding around it.
I totally disagree with you. The show was, I thought it was so fast-moving. I thought it was unbelievable.
Kate, do the teams actually dislike each other?
Right, I tell you what, when we all started, we were like, this is going to be really fun, okay? And then as soon as we got split up into our teams, there was genuine tension. And I do think we all actually got on, but there were genuine fights, there were genuine arguments. I remember fighting once against Jenny Powell and me, and there is the biggest argument between me and Leilani because she went mad saying I cheated. And even though it's only a TV show, I was really annoyed about it because I never cheated and I wouldn't cheat. And I played that game fair and square. and we had a big row. And that's what I like about the show, because it's really fun, but there is a real competitive edge there, and it gets more and more competitive as the show goes on.
You know, you've got a problem, don't you? This text here from Barry who says the wrestling won't get a look in because next week the Daleks are back.
Barry, what's a Dalek? Don't even know anything about Doctor Who. You're boring me. Go. Doctor Who. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I've never been a fan.
Kate, just stay with us a couple of moments. We've got some more programmes to look at in just a moment. We just want a few words on Big Brother 6, which is due to turn up very shortly. We'll be back with our TV reviewers in just a moment. It's 3:34.
Live news, live sport.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The 5 Live news. Great Manchester run that takes place on May the 22nd.
Bob, thank you. It's 3:39, 5 Live. Kate Lawler is here. We were just talking about celebrity wrestling, which is on ITV Saturday night. And we can see you. Well, what are you doing this Saturday?
I'm fighting Michelle Heaton this week.
That's what it is. Again, you versus Michelle Heaton. Okay, is it a good scrap?
It's unbelievable. That's the best yet, actually.
And we get Big Brother 6 fairly shortly. Will you be watching?
Will I be? It depends, actually, if I'm in the country.
Still got some legs. The programme.
Big Brother.
Not you.
Do you know what?
How hard do you think the wrestling is, Simon? Come on.
Do you know what with Big Brother? Half of me thinks that I think they should call it a day now, but another part of me thinks it will just go on forever, because it's always going to be different every year, and you're always going to get a load of wacky people in there that are totally different to last year.
What advice would you give the people about to enter the house?
Hold on to your job before. Just because I did it, and I actually was going to go back to my old job, and then my dad convinced me to go and see this agent that wanted, and I ended up doing a little bit of TV and radio work. But then this year, and I haven't really seen a lot of this year and last year's contestants do much, and it's quite worrying that people think that.
People think they're made, don't they?
Yeah, I've seen that with a couple of people from this year. Like meeting them, I'm thinking, oh, you're acting a bit like it's. You're sorted for life, and I'm certainly still working hard to pay my mortgage.
Kate, appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much.
For having me, Simon.
And Celebrity Wrestling continues on ITV this Saturday.